Welcome, fellow nerds, to this episode of Nerd Shit, hosted by Lord Brad Brad and Riorik, where we discuss all things nerd. Whether it's anime, movies, comic books, video games, Magic the Gathering, or Dungeons & Dragons. If it's nerd, we talk about it. So pull up your favorite chair, pour a glass of mead, and get ready to come and discuss everything nerd shit.
Alright, so we're going to start today's episode with something a little weird. A little factoid Lord Brad Brad just shared with me about Spider-Man. What was that factoid again?
Yo, I can't do this. I can't let you do this. And the people that bought it were like, no.
You mean Sony?
Yeah, well, they were still like, no. You're too old. And I don't think you make a great fit.
So Peter Parker, a high school student, played by Michael Jackson.
Hee-hee. Just imagine him screaming that when he flies through the cities. Hee-hee. Who's that? I will never know who that is.
Yeah, nobody would ever be able to connect the dots as to what that secret identity really was.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But it'd also be pretty bad for him too, because one of his hands would leave the fingerprints because he only got one glove.
Yeah, I don't want to know what happens when he grabs his crotch. No, that's a Spider-Man I do not want to see. I'm glad they never did it. But you were saying something about MJ?
Oh yeah, MJ kissing MJ.
Yeah, that would have been a little weird. But I mean, that kind of goes back into Nick Cage trying to be Superman.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen some of those videos from where he tried to do that demo reel. Dude, that was scary looking.
I think I would rather watch that than hee swinging through the city. Ooh, I gotta go save that little boy.
Yeah, I think Nick Cage's Superman probably would have been a little bit more tolerable than a Michael Jackson Spider-Man. But that's kind of like saying, you know what, I'm not even going to draw that analogy because that is just way too absurd. No. I'll just leave it at that.
Would the mask like muffle it so it's more like a hoo-hoo?
I think it's so high-pitched it'll just go through the mask. I don't think that mask is going to have any effect on that.
Do you think the suit, he would have originally picked the black one, but it would have been like super glittery and everything, so like really
only one side would have been glittery.
Oh, yeah.
One hand glittery, one hand not.
Ah.
Yeah. Would he have needed a mask?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, just a veil.
Just a veil. The problem is, I don't know which Spider-Man he would be. Peter Parker or Miles Morales? I think he wanted
Spider-Pig.
Spider-Pig. I think he wanted to be Peter Parker, though.
Yeah.
I don't even think Morales was around yet at the time.
He did a lot of really good music, but as a Spider-Man, no. Just no. We'll just... I'm going to say no to that right across the board. In all categories, just no.
He could have been Performance Spider-Man. Spider-Man that just has the powers of a spider, but he just does music. Alternate timeline.
Like
Earth 182.
He could have been like Rockstar Barbie, but just for Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. No.
I mean, they really did have a Spider-Pig.
Yeah.
And then they had Detective Spider-Man.
Well, they've got a lot of different Spider-Mans when you go back and look at...
So they could have just made him Rockstar Spider-Man.
No.
Yeah. I think the drugs are too non-kid friendly, but Spider-Man has a lot of unkid friendly things. They got zombie Spider-Man.
So, did you ever watch Tommy Wiseau's The Room?
Yes.
Remember how horrible that was?
No. That was great.
Bad. No, that was god awful.
It was great.
No, that was horrible.
I swear, I did not hit her.
The acting in that was so bad. So bad. It made The Man Who Killed Hitler and Then Bigfoot watchable.
I don't know. Because people will go and watch the movie just to throw spoons at the theater screen. That's a fact. I don't know what scene it is, but I know that's a cult thing to do. Kind of like how people were going to the Minions movies and throwing bananas at the screen. So, if you see The Room, throw a spoon.
If you're bored enough, you'll do anything. You've got to be really effing bored to go sit through The Room.
I mean, you could laugh knowing how bad that movie is. And there's the scenes where he's trying to get with her and everything, and in real life, she almost threw up.
Yeah.
She was like, his body's so weird.
He's so weird.
Nobody knows where he comes from.
Yeah, I'm trying not too hard to think about it. Anyway.
Well, on the concept of comic books, let's bring up the recent ones that we've been looking at.
Yeah, okay, good point. Let's, get Tommy Wiseau out of my head. So recent comics. So we picked up East of West recently. Now this is a 10-issue run, I think, and it follows the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse in kind of a postmodern apocalyptic world. So everything's kind of in shatters. It's resorted back to the Wild West type mentality, the way of law, the way of living, but they have robots and lasers and stuff.
Do they have the squeaky wood in the bar area? Like, if you step on it, that's how they know you're a stranger, because everyone else avoids it?
They might. There were some scenes in the first issue where they were in a bar and people realized, you're not from around here, we don't serve your kind.
He stepped on the squeaky board.
Yeah, so that one's interesting. I've not gotten all the way through this yet. I'm working my way through it, but it's really, really interesting because the Four Horsemen have kind of split up. You've got Death, and he's out kind of doing his own thing, and then the other three are hunting him down.
Where'd you go? Why'd you leave?
It starts off more of a he did it to us again type scenario, so they seem more angry at him than anything.
Here we go again. Death screwing everything up.
Yeah, so this one's kind of crazy. It's that Old West futuristic type vibe. Think Trigun. It's almost
Firefly without the space?
Yeah, Firefly without spaceships. Like if they were on one of the planets somewhere, that might be kind of like that. But it's interesting so far. I'm liking it. And then the other one is Jurassic League.
I love this one.
Yeah. For those who don't know, Jurassic League is DC's Justice League, but the superheroes are dinosaurs.
Yeah, I'm trying to look at the names of them here in a second. Is this not the first issue? It's not the first issue. No,
that's issue number 3 there.
I was trying to figure out what the names were. I know in the first issue they scream what names they are, like a full panel telling you what the names of the dinosaurs are.
Yeah, so they're pretty interesting. We'll have to get some stuff. I think I've got issue 1 put up already.
Oh. Don't worry. That's what the internet's for.
Yeah, that's right. We'll get the names of them and post those out for you guys.
I'll do it.
But it's a 6-issue special series. So once these 6 issues are done, there's not any current plans for any more. So this is going to be a very limited run. And as soon as I saw Jurassic League, I knew we had to get that one because Justice League and dinosaurs, oh yeah, that just screams good to me.
Hell yeah. I love it.
And it's interesting. The fun part about it is the dinosaurs and humans coexist, and there's evil dinosaur villains that are trying to kill, capture, and eat humans for some nefarious purpose.
Superman is a Supersaurus.
Yes.
Wonder Woman is a Triceratops. Batman is an Allosaurus. Joker is a Dilophosaurus. Aquaman is a Bronix. I know what that is, but I can't say the name. Giganta is a Gigantosaurus. Gigantnototos. I can't say it right.
It's a big dinosaur.
Yeah. It's a long neck, I believe.
Yeah.
And Bizarro is a Brontosaurus. Pretty fun stuff. Black Manta isn't even a dinosaur. It's just a manta ray that has legs.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's got all your favorite classic heroes and villains from the Justice League in here.
This one's my favorite. The Flash is a velociraptor.
Mm-hmm.
Reverse Flash is some kind of prehistoric turtle.
But can go really fast.
That's the reverse part.
Yeah. Yeah, they've got a Bizarro in there. Yeah. They've got several iconic characters transposed as dinosaurs. Up through issue 3, we really still haven't uncovered the main plot. All we know is there's something called the Dark Embryo that the evil dinosaurs are trying to do something for. Not real sure what the Dark Embryo is, what the end result is, anything like that. We've still got 3 more issues to find out. So by the end of the year, we'll have the conclusion to this. But issue 1 dropped in May. Mm-hmm. So we'll have the last issue, I think, in October, November, something like that.
Oh, yeah. I don't care what the plot is. Just seeing them as dinosaurs is fun for me.
It's been interesting. It's been fun. It's a little weird, a little goofy sometimes. But yeah, if you like the Justice League or if you like dinosaurs, definitely pick it up. Like I said, it's a limited 6-issue series, so get it now. And then the other one that we've been reading recently is Berserker, the Keanu Reeves Berserker.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with Berserk.
Which is coming back. He has someone else doing the rest of that manga for him who knows the storyline. But this is Keanu. Everyone loves Keanu.
Yeah, and when you look at the covers, the cover art is, you can tell it's Keanu Reeves. It's meant to be Keanu Reeves, and that's because Keanu Reeves and some of his friends have put together this series that revolves around him as this character. And it's been very interesting. It's very brutal. It's a very action-packed, bloody, brutal comic. It's really good. But it was also recently announced that there are plans to turn this into a 2-season anime. So it will be coming to a streaming service. I don't know when. I don't remember if I saw when, but we've got an article already linked out to it on our Facebook page. Mm-hmm. So if you go to facebook.com/LordBradBrad and scroll around, you'll find it on there. I want to say Netflix is the one that bought it, which is odd because Netflix just shut down a bunch of their animation studios after they lost so many subscribers at the beginning of the year. But this announcement came after that.
They might be trying to be like, yeah, that may have been a mistake. We'll try it one more time. Or Netflix bought it a long time ago, and they're like, oh, crap. This is Keanu. This is a moneymaker. We'll hold on to this one.
That's just it. I think they shut down a lot of their animation studios after this deal was done, but they chose that there were certain IPs that they wanted to keep because they knew that there was potential with them. Instead of just making everything and just making tons of content like they were, especially the content that wasn't that good, let's focus on a few and do them right and try and win back some of those subscribers that we lost, try and get things back on track. Because, what good are you as a streaming service if you're making crap? Mm-hmm. So this may be one of those ones that they held on to, thinking this will be the one that we can focus on and do correctly.
Yeah. And Keanu is playing himself.
Yes. So Keanu helped write the comic book, and he's going to voice the lead character in the anime. So if you're a fan of Keanu, definitely check this out. I don't know if I've heard or if I can remember how many issues this was expected to be. If this is going to be a continued comic or if this is a limited run. I don't remember. I remember seeing something about it when they first announced that he was doing a comic, but that was a year or so ago. And I don't remember the details of it. So I'll have to ask Nick next time I'm at the comic book store if he's heard. But if any of you guys talk to anybody that y'all know, or if you already happen to know, hit us up on Facebook and let us know, because now I'm curious.
Yeah, and I can't remember what I did yesterday, how much I've been working, so everything kind of runs together for me.
Yeah, when you get one day off every 14 days, that does make for a very long period of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when you're working, 12, 14 hours a day sometimes?
It's usually between 10 to 12, yeah.
That's still a pretty long day in 110-degree weather.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah. So yeah, so Lord Brad Brad, his mind is fried, literally and figuratively, thanks to the weather down here in Texas. And I'm simply old and can't remember what I read. So if somebody knows the answer, let us know. If you don't know, and you've got a local comic book store, if you go in there and talk to them, they may know. Nick's knowledgeable about a lot of this stuff, so I'm sure he's not the only one out there like that.
Mm-hmm.
So go find your local comic book store and ask them, and if you find the answer before we do, let us know.
Always buy it from your local comic book store. It's real nice, support the local business, and you kind of want to keep them around. I like ours.
Yeah, or you could just buy from our buddy Nick.
Yeah, somehow get your stuff from Texas, no matter where you live.
So Comic Hub, the app that he uses, you can technically order through there, and some of it can be delivered to the store, and you can pick it up from the store, or he can ship it to you. But some of it can be drop shipped to you, I think.
But they'd still get the...
Because when you sign up for Comic Hub, it asks you for your store. So you associate your account with a store.
Alright.
So if I go on Comic Hub and look up anything, it automatically associates me to Old Town Comics. And when I get my subscription stuff in, so like when I get a new issue of Berserker or Jurassic League or any of that stuff, it pops up in Comic Hub, hey, your monthly subscription's arrived.
Alright.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. So yeah, if you don't have a local comic book store,
support ours.
Yeah, support ours. Keep our guy around. We like our guy. But no, there's all kinds of places you can get stuff online these days. I mean, thanks to the advent of Amazon and eBay, you can pretty much find whatever you want online. But we like supporting our local comic book store because not only does he have comic books, but he's got cards, he's got sleeves, he's got model kits, he's got Funko Pops, t-shirts, posters. I mean, he's got all kinds of collectible stuff in there, half of which is in my office now. It's nice to be able to go into one store and find everything you need rather than having to hunt for it online. So we like going to Nick. Enough of our pandering. The real thing we wanted to talk about today, though, in theme of comic books and anime, are animes that have been turned into live action.
So we got comics to animated to live action. So they gotta go through like 4 different ways. You got the initial concept, the printed stuff, the animated, and then they try to throw people into it.
But today we're specifically worried about animes
we're going,
that have done live action.
We're going from where you can express anything practically to, you kind of have to work around some of it because we can't really do that.
Or the special effects budgets won't allow for it.
Yeah.
We can certainly, all of us remember the first Hulk movie with Eric Bana. Oh, God, that was CGI nightmare.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah. Recently, it was announced that 2 popular animes were about to get live action remakes. So we've got One Piece, which is one of your all-time favorites.
One of my all-time favorites. Love One Piece.
And that one's going to be getting a live-action series, isn't it?
Yeah, on Netflix.
A live-action series on Netflix.
Yeah. Yeah, the author just came back from Africa with them filming. He went to go look over there and hang out with all of them and all that.
Have you seen any shots from set or anything?
I've seen the boats and everything. They look pretty neat. But I haven't really seen a whole lot about it.
No trailers or anything like that?
Not that I can remember.
Now, you said earlier that they had pretty much finished filming.
Yeah, they're almost done filming at least. But then, they got to add in the special effects because, the main character's got rubber powers.
Yeah, well, there's going to be a lot of special effects, a lot of editing.
A lot.
Have they said anything about when they expect that to release?
I don't know. I will look into that. But all I know is most of the time when stretchy powers are involved, nothing goes right for, money-wise. It's not great. Which is just shows aren't great.
Disney didn't do half bad with the animation for Miss Marvel. I didn't like the storyline as much for her as I wanted to. It seemed like it was an origin story, but it seemed like it was very focused on the history of her family, not so much her origin and all of that. I don't know. It didn't seem to jive as well with me as some of the others. But when she learned to control her powers, and she was sending out her big hands and, embiggening to grow to big sizes and whatnot. Disney did pretty good with that. So I'm hoping with the advances in technology that One Piece will come out okay.
I'd hope so.
That they gotta
really
jam pack into 12.
It's just the beginning
that's
part
gonna be
where
the other
he gets like
challenge
the
for
four
that
initial
is
people
these
on
big
the crew,
expansive
and then they go start their
storylines. 'Cause One
journey.
Piece has how
So,
many
it's
episodes?
Just like the first
episodes. I want to
54
say they're in
episodes or so.
1030 something, and chapters they just released chapter 1054.
Yeah, Netflix is not likely to do that many episodes.
No.
So they're going to have to compress a lot of information, or they're going to have to cut a lot of crap out.
Mm-hmm.
And when you start doing that, it dramatically affects the story.
Yeah, because they're gonna have to go to at least 4 different places to get the 4 other people to join the crew. Because they don't all join at the same place at the same time.
Yeah.
And then they gotta animate fish people. They gotta
animate a lot.
Oh, yeah. Stretchy powers. I hope Buggy the Clown... Buggy the Clown, but everyone in the community calls him Buggy D Clown.
That's because of Homie D Clown.
No, it's because he's so lucky, everyone just says, nah, they changed his name. He has a D as his middle initial. It's Buggy D Clown. He's part of the clan that's, once ruled the world, or maybe. We don't know anything about the symbol D, but they just added that on to him because it's funny. He went from one of Luffy's first big villains to now what they call an Emperor of the Sea by sheer luck alone. So he's literally up there on top with hey, this man rules part of the ocean now by sheer luck alone.
So that'll be one that we definitely want to keep a lookout for and find information on. You'll probably hear us talk a little bit more about it as more information comes out.
Oh yeah, I could talk about it all day.
I know you can, but we don't have all day.
Yeah.
So we'll circle back, bits and pieces here and there, things for future episodes. Yeah. Don't blow your load all at once. I know. But the other new announcement was for Yu Yu Hakusho.
That's another one with the animation budget I'm kind of scared for.
Now, I know your cousin Jordan's a big Yu Yu Hakusho fan.
Yeah.
How about you?
I'm kind of one. I'm more of a Hunter x Hunter fan, which is done by the same guy. So he went from Yu Yu Hakusho, guy dies, save problem in the living world, to a big tournament arc thing. And I'm like, I don't know, it's cool. It's really cool, but I like his newer stuff where he just says, no, I'm going to do what I want when I want, and I will change the storyline on you because I feel like it.
So that would get a little jarring for me. I don't know that I would care for that.
It's not really that. He does it in a way that makes sense for the show. He'll all right, they're going to do this, they're going to train here, but they don't want to finish the top. They just want to, they have a little mini tournament arc, and he's like, nah, I've already done this. I just want them here to train so we can keep going on with the story. So they're dipping because they want to dip.
As long as it is explained why we have such a shift in story and it's cohesive.
It is.
That would make sense. I just don't want, okay, episode 3, we're in the middle of a tournament. Episode 4, okay, we're halfway around the world fighting some dog.
No, it's a story. It's a whole storyline.
Okay.
Yeah, everything connects back to points.
Okay.
And later they didn't animate it because the guy who's doing Hunter x Hunter is really sick. He's dropping out. He's known as a hiatus because he takes so many breaks. He just came back recently saying, hey, I got a few more after 2.5 years of not posting a single chapter.
I mean, if you're sick, you're sick. What are you going to do?
Yeah, this is the same guy that married the woman who did...
I was about to ask that.
Yeah, Sailor Moon. So Yu Yu Hakusho's good. It's one of his earlier stuffs. It's what really got him going. So I appreciate it for giving me Hunter x Hunter.
And I think all the seasons of Yu Yu Hakusho are on Crunchyroll. Mm-hmm. But I think only 1 or 2 seasons are on Netflix. Either Netflix or Amazon. I found 1 or 2 seasons on there. Mm-hmm. So I've never seen Yu Yu Hakusho.
It's very 90s styled.
Yeah, well, yeah. So I had never seen Yu Yu Hakusho. Let me put it that way. I knew what the show was, but I'd never watched it. But when they made the announcement about the live action, I knew you would get a little interested in that. Jordan got really interested in that.
Oh, I'm interested, but I'm mostly afraid of the animations department again for the budget. Because that's the problem with doing anime to live action.
You know, anytime you've got a heavy special effects ridden movie, there's going to be cause for concern.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at Pacific Rim versus Pacific Rim 2, Mortal Kombat versus Last Airbender, it can be done right, and it can go horribly wrong.
Did people like the Mortal Kombat?
The original.
See, I don't think anybody liked the original Mortal Kombat that I know of.
Oh, no, it was a great movie at its time. I want to say it broke records.
Okay, so at the time, everyone was like, yeah, and then as time went on, everyone was like, oh, we liked that?
Well...
Kind of like Nickelback? Nickelback was great when they came out.
They were
Everyone
very
loved
popular for a brief moment, yeah. But I think movies suffer from nostalgia and time. When I grew up watching movies in the 80s and 90s, you had still a lot of practical effects and not as much CGI. Mm-hmm. You know, CGI was very expensive in its infancy. Technology really wasn't there to do a lot of the stuff that we do today. And then you watch anything in the current Marvel universe.
I don't know, some of that still doesn't hold a candle to Transformers. Their animation department did pretty good.
Yeah. You go back and you watch anything from the 80s and 90s, and then you put that up against the first Transformers movie. Mm-hmm. And the differences are just mind-bending. So yeah, you can't really go back and go, oh yeah, we watched Mortal Kombat in the 90s and it was the greatest thing ever. Well, no, it was really great for its time. It's since been eclipsed by advances in just cinema.
Yeah.
You know, in general. The cameras have gotten better. The CGI's gotten better. The projectors have gotten better. The theaters have gotten better. Things improve over time. But if you go back and you look at Star Wars from 1977, and you compare that to Mortal Kombat, you're going to see a huge difference in the quality of the films there. And you're going to be like, wow, how did we ever think Star Wars was so groundbreaking? The special effects are so obvious now. Well, yeah, they're obvious now because, A, they're recorded everywhere. You know what they are. You know what to look for. Oh, well, he's not really flying. That's just mirrored base.
Yeah.
Okay. So you know the trade secrets. The technology's improved. Had George Lucas had the technology that we have today when he made Star Wars in 1977, I'm not counting the remakes that he did with the improved graphics. I'm talking about had he had those on the original filming.
Oh, yeah.
The two films would look completely different.
We'd probably have like a whole Avatar, the Blue People Avatar type thing with them.
God, don't go.
No, I'm not. I'm saying they would eclipse that, is what I'm saying. We'd probably have a thing like that.
Yeah. Star Wars would be a very different movie. But, I mean, even George Lucas said that was one of the reasons why he wanted to do the special edition Star Wars and why he wanted to do the prequel, because technology had improved so that he could tell the story more closely to the story he wanted to tell in the 70s. I think that makes a difference in things.
Back to topic.
Back to topic.
The other show is getting another live action. I almost say it's round 4 or 5 maybe. Death Note. Am I right?
I want to say there's already 3 of them that I can remember, so this may be number 4, possibly number 5. I've quit counting.
I don't know if Japan's done it anymore. I know they had 1. I know we have like 2.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But Death Note's one of those ones. I've tried watching the live actions, and I struggle to really get into them.
That's why.
But I never really watched the anime either, so I don't really know what I'm getting into.
Oh, the anime is really smart guy, finds Death Note. Okay, I can change the world. Goes crazy.
Yeah, I know the premise of the anime.
Oh, he goes crazy. He literally just passes it around because when you let go of it or whatever, you forget you had it. You forget it existed. It's pretty much. And it's him taking advantage of that and the people around him to get the job done.
Wow.
Real smart stuff. Real big brain.
And then Attack on Titan's had a couple of them.
Yeah. They were okay.
Those are examples of bad CGI.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't like sat down and focused on them. I've turned them on and just kind of watched through them. Oh, they are rough.
Yes.
So there's plenty of reasons to be concerned about animes being turned into live action.
Say one of the most popular animes of all time is Full Metal Alchemist, and they had a live action.
Did they?
I'm not sure if it came out yet, but if it did come out, I did not watch it because I did not want to ruin my taste for that show. Yeah. I love that show.
I like Full Metal. It's good. But some recent ones that had released, I say recent, within the last couple of years, that were probably more widely known. Because, if you tell somebody that there's a live action Death Note, unless they're a fan of the series, they're probably not going to know. If you tell somebody there's a live action Attack on Titan, unless they're a fan of the series, they're probably not going to know. Mm-hmm. But Ghost in the Shell had a couple of movies, had a couple of animated series, got a live action remake. It still kind of flew under the radar, but I think more people are going to know Ghost in the Shell than they are Attack on Titan.
Yeah, because it had a very popular actress in it.
Scarlett Johansson.
I don't think anyone would have watched that movie if she wasn't in it.
I would have, because it was Ghost in the Shell. I love Ghost in the Shell.
I would have, because I knew what Ghost in the Shell was and I'd want to see it.
I watched the original Ghost in the Shell movie, and that's been like one of my all-time favorite anime movies. I watched the Standalone Complex series. It was okay. It had a couple of different things in there that were interesting for me. So when they announced a live-action remake, and some of the clips and promos that they were showing very, very almost identically recreated scenes from the Ghost in the Shell movie, the first one. I was like, oh, I'm down. I'm in. And then they said Scarlett Johansson. Oh, I'm doubling down on this. Yeah, I'm good. Then when it came out, I went and saw it. I mean, I was at the theater watching it. It wasn't terrible to me. It wasn't great. It certainly wasn't a remake of the animated movie. It was a mashup of the animated movie and some of the stuff from Standalone Complex.
If you think you just watched the fighting scenes and like just took out whatever plot they had, you'd have been like, yeah, this is the movie.
Yeah.
Kind of like King Kong versus Godzilla. Take the plot out. I'm watching the movie.
Yeah, because the actors in King Kong versus Godzilla made absolutely no impact on the storyline. They were just there.
Yeah, I just want to watch Godzilla
beat up.
Yeah, King Kong.
Well, and that was this one. I mean, it had somewhat faithfully recreated the fight scene between the Major, who was played by Scarlett Johansson, and the mind-jacked guy in the water from the movie. It had somewhat faithfully recreated the very opening scene from the movie where she goes invisible and jumps down the side of the building and kicks through the window and fights the almost the mobster people in the building. It had very very well done in trying to capture the feel from the animated movie there. And then of course the spider tank and that fight scene, it was not the same as the movie, but it had a lot of familiar elements.
It would have been if they just showed you like, yeah, I could accept this as that fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there were some parts of it. It was like, yeah, whatever. But I like that they kept true to a lot of the source material to the point where you connected with it. If you were a fan of the show or a fan of the anime, you could pick out the pieces of it that tied back into to you. And I thought that was really good. I mean, I wish they would have just stuck with one story rather than trying to merge them. I think that would have been a lot better. But for what it wasn't bad. I liked it.
I thought it was alright.
See, alright. I'll take an alright. There was a lot of people that hated it, though. That movie got a lot of hate, mainly because of Scarlett Johansson.
Oh, yeah, but that's woke community stuff.
Well, she was Japanese, but she wasn't really Japanese. That was the whole point. She was an android implanted with somebody else's mind and memories. So if the mind and memories could have been of anybody of any ethnicity, it was the body of the android.
Yeah.
And I think people...
I think they said, oh, this is a Japanese movie. It's got to have Japanese people in it.
I think that was a lot of it. I think more of the people that got mad didn't really understand the premise of it.
All I'm saying is if you can gender swap and color swap people from comic books into an animated series, like they did with, let's go with Invincible. Mm-hmm. Amber's a white redhead chick, and now she's black, and that's okay, perfectly fine. But like in anime, they could be any race. They have them as they try and make them look whiter.
I've noticed that in anime, and I've never understood that. Most characters in anime, especially a lot of the leads, have very Western features to them.
They really like Western features, and in Japan, the whiter and clearer your face is, that attracts more beauty to them. So that's one of the things.
So they still hold to that?
They still hold to that, for the most part.
In like feudal China, it was considered attractive to be chubby. Mm-hmm. Because that meant that you lived well, you had money, and you could eat.
Yeah.
Some of those definitions of what's beautiful and what's attractive are so weird. But
yeah. Another thing is with white people, there's more uniqueness sort of in the way, like blonde hair, blue eyes. That's different. That's outstanding. They can put that on the screen and catch your attention. So they could still be Japanese but dye their hair blonde or put blue contacts or whatever. And that's just something different from what they're used to, and so that can grab your attention.
They give them more Western features because it stands out from the monotony of an ethnicity that shares so many types.
That's why superheroes and stuff put on brighter colors to grab your attention. So over there, if you have something different, you're trying to grab the attention to the audience. That's kind of what it is. Especially if you're broadening out of your country. Yeah. If you're trying to bring more people in, throw in more stuff.
Yeah, because they do a lot of times focus on certain aspects of the Japanese religion, Japanese culture, Japanese history, Japanese architecture, and then you've got all these characters with Western features.
It's also a way you can separate who the character is by their unique traits.
Yeah.
And the fact that they look more Western, it's easier to be like, hey, there are people with red hair.
Yeah.
The red hair, blonde hair, black hair, different hair color, silver hair, because that's cool. Why not?
Okay. Interesting.
Superheroes have different costumes. Animes have different hairstyles and different colors.
Yeah.
And the colors actually represent stuff too, so.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
That's why they look more like that. And if you put on a wig or something or dye your hair, it doesn't look right.
Back to point.
Yeah.
So the other anime turned live action, Cowboy Bebop.
We might get some hate for this one. Maybe.
Bring the hate. I don't care. I like Cowboy Bebop right up until Ed.
Yeah. I thought it was a pretty decent story. Little different.
It was a little different from the anime, but that's good. I mean, you don't want a scene-by-scene recreation of the anime. You want something so that it stands out a little bit. Mm-hmm. You want that familiarity with the characters and the familiarity with the world that they live in. But if you just wanted a line-by-line retelling of what you knew, then why not just watch the anime?
Yeah.
So I liked that they added a few little twists to it.
The whole thing about Spike's wife was introduced, and you got to explore that a little more. That was nice, I guess.
They were opening up different avenues to explore beyond the first season, which is one of the reasons why they held Ed back too. Because the original anime, for those who've never watched Cowboy Bebop, was only one season long.
Yeah,
it was 24 episodes or something like that.
I want to say 26, but it could be 24.
It was somewhere around 24 episodes, but only one season. And even it kind of ended on a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
This one, we got, 10 episodes at Netflix?
Yeah.
If you go from 24 episodes down to 10, obviously you're going to have to change things up a little bit. But if you're wanting to do a series, well, if you've only got 24 episodes worth of historical canon to work with, you've got to stretch that out a little bit more if you want to go beyond one season. And they were setting themselves up for it.
They really were. I think what really killed it was that Ed scene at the end. Everyone seemed to be like, all right, this is okay. And then they threw that. They're like, oh, hell no, don't touch that. I don't want a season 2.
I think it was dead before it launched.
I think you're right.
Because the minute they announced it, there was nothing but hate online for it.
Yeah.
You know, people complained that they were going to ruin it before they'd ever even announced the cast. They were talking about how horrible it was going to be, how it was going to get trashed. They were ruining a cultural icon or whatever. You know, people were just downing it from the minute it was announced. They never gave the show a chance. They never gave any consideration to the cast. And I, for one, thought they did a really good job casting most of them.
Oh, yeah.
You know, John Cho as Spike Spiegel, wonderful.
I think he...
Wonderful.
I think he did great. I think he was the best out of all of them.
Oh, yeah. I don't think you could have found anybody better for Spike Spiegel than him. He captured the essence of that character, both from an appearance, an aesthetic perspective, and from just a personality. I mean, he really came across like Spike to me. I thought he was wonderful. The guy that they chose as Jet, his partner, I thought he did a good job.
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't my favorite on there. Sometimes I felt he was trying a little too hard, but he did a decent job.
Yeah. You like her. I didn't care
Faye.
that Faye. Yeah, I was like, yeah, she's alright. She's cool. She's got a mouth. I mean...
She wasn't the exact immolation of Faye from the anime.
Yeah.
But she captured a lot of that essence in a way.
I still think she's what the show needed for their Faye is like, hey, we need someone to be sort of like comic relief. So we gotta kind of express her a little more.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, this show's kind of depressing. None of the other characters show that much emotion. We could have this one be the fun, outgoing, screw you.
Yeah. Yeah, and she really did good with that personality. Mm-hmm. The last episode where she jumps in and starts blowing up the church with that ship, starts screaming obscenities at the people inside. Loved it. That was a good Faye moment for me. But yeah, Ed. Oof. I mean, Ed's a kooky character in the anime, but that out of the blue screechy voice, just bah!
At the end,
yeah,
too,
at the
the wrong moment.
Yeah, just really kind of what was that? You know. Mm-hmm. But I think it was DOA, Dead on Arrival. I think the minute they launched episode 1, they knew that it wasn't going to survive because so many people were against just the idea of it, which is what has me concerned for One Piece and Yu Yu Hakusho.
I could see it for Yu Yu Hakusho, but One Piece's fans are like a lot and super hardcore. They will watch that first episode and then they will tell you if it is dead or not.
Yeah. See, and that was the other thing. Netflix made a lot of announcements about Cowboy Bebop. They were introducing the cast. They were releasing set pics and costume pics, and they released the intro sequence. Several weeks before the first episode dropped, if I remember correctly on the timing, and it was almost an 100% accurate recreation of the anime opening sequence.
Yeah, it was. It was pretty good.
And it looked really good. But people were still shitting on it. And I'm like, okay, y'all bitch because you didn't want them to make it that they were going to screw it up, blah, 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 blah. And then they give you the exact scene. They show you what their characters look like and how well they match up to the anime. And all you can do is dog them. Not because of what the sequence shows, but just because you don't like the idea of what they're doing. You think that it's going to be garbage. You know, you're not even giving it a chance.
No.
So I was really disappointed to see Cowboy Bebop get canceled, but I knew it was going to happen. Interestingly enough, Cowboy Bebop, after it got canceled, got nominated for some awards.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's I don't know if it won or if they've even announced the winners of the awards yet or not. I don't even remember what they were nominated for now. But it was so bad, they got nominated for an award. Go figure. And it wasn't like a Razzie. It wasn't like they got nominated
Yeah.
for an award for being bad. They got nominated for an award for being good, but they still got canceled because people had their heads up their asses with blinders on, bitching before they even bothered to watch it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Ed was bad. I'm not going to argue that.
But everyone has that one character nobody likes.
And I think that was just, they were introducing Ed. I don't know if Ed would have continued to have been bad had they gotten the chance to explore Ed.
Yeah.
But I think the way in which they introduced Ed was bad.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that was the nail in the coffin, I think.
Yeah.
But what are some other animes that have gone to live action that you can think of?
I don't really know. I try and avoid most of Tokyo Ghoul. I don't know if you know that
Wait,
one.
they had a live action for Tokyo Ghoul?
They had a live action. I did not watch it. I know it exists.
I didn't know that had existed. Oh my
Yeah.
god, I'm going to have to go track that down now.
Yeah, I know. I think it was on Funimation and Crunchyroll. I'd have to double check on those. But I know it exists because I've seen the movie poster with the live action person on it in the titles as I was trying to look for the show, and I know something about it exists.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, so what about, would you consider Transformers in that same vein? Because, I mean, it was an animated series, not necessarily an anime.
Yeah.
But it was an animated series that got live action, and by that regard, so did G.I. Joe.
Yeah, that one was bad.
Which one?
All of them?
There's 3 of them.
All of them?
The first G.I. Joe wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. It was
All
kind
of
of
'em.
mediocre. The second one was pretty bad, and I haven't got to see the Snake Eyes movie yet.
I don't think that one did good either.
Was it just because that it
I think
didn't
it's
get
'cause
the
it's two.
chance because of part 2?
I want to probably.
Yeah.
That and everyone was like, G.I. Joe hype is dead.
Yeah, G.I. Joe really hasn't been as popular here lately as it used to be.
I think Transformers died the moment they released the 4th one, and they just tried to keep going.
Wait, which one was the 4th one?
Is that the one they got rid of? Basically, the original first cast.
So 1 and 2 both had Shia LaBeouf and Megan Fox in it. Part 3 had Shia LaBeouf and that new girl. Part 4 was the one that had Mark Wahlberg, wasn't it?
I think the moment Wahlberg touched.
And then part 5 was the one where it was like back in time
Yeah,
thing, the last night or whatever.
when Wahlberg touched it, I think that's when everyone stopped caring.
I don't know necessarily. I'm not going to pin it on Wahlberg.
Oh, no, it's not his fault. I'm just saying at that point, people stopped caring.
I think it'd been overdone, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, at that point, it was, what, the 4th movie?
Yeah, kind of like...
People love Transformers, but you spent 3 movies and you never gave us Dinobots.
Yeah.
And then you tease Dinobots for number 4, and then they end up hardly doing anything, not being worth a damn.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I think people were willing to try it on number 4, but were quickly let down by it. And then number 5 had no chance. I'm surprised the Bumblebee standalone movie did as well as it did.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I think it was just the hypes died. They're like, all right, you're trying to get us into the same story with new people.
Yeah. How many times can we rinse and repeat this?
Yeah, it's like, we like the actors you picked. Don't get us wrong. It's just, now we got to start over this soon, but try and keep in touch with the original story.
Well, and that's kind of the downfall of Transformers. They didn't exactly have a lot of variety.
Yeah.
When you watch the original cartoon from the 80s, they spent almost every week fighting Megatron and Starscream.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't until you got later down the line that you got Galvatron and Omnicron and all that stuff coming in. So they don't have the universal depth like you do with DC and Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, because you've got so many varied characters and a variety of villains for each character. With Transformers, it's Optimus Prime and his band of followers, and that's pretty much it. You know, you don't get to draw from anything else. Jazz doesn't have his own story, and if he did, nobody would care.
Yeah. The only other character I think would get anything besides Bumblebee, the leaders and their side character, their second in command, the audience. The people think of like as second would probably be Soundwave.
Yeah,
I think everyone loves Soundwave just as much as they love Starscream.
No, everybody hated Starscream.
Yeah, but like he's well known. He
was definitely a feature character.
Yeah. He is one of the characters when you think of Transformers. But it's like, yeah, but we like Soundwave.
Yeah, Soundwave was pretty cool. I like Soundwave. Yeah, he was one of the ones that we had growing up.
Yeah. Isn't he the one when they did the live action, they made the dog bird radio thing? Was that him?
Soundwave is supposed to be a radio, yes, and then he ejects the cassettes out and they turn into animals.
No, I think in the live action ones, they had him as some type of dog thing.
I don't remember.
Because I think I do remember that. He was a dog, he got onto a plane, transformed, and had a bird fly around.
Yeah, I remember Soundwave being in there, and I don't remember what... Because there was a scene where he actually turned into a radio at one point.
Yeah.
But he turned into other things, too.
Like an iPod, I think, was too. No, that was someone else.
Yeah, but it was just really... Yeah, they did Soundwave dirty.
Yeah. I did like the design, though. They didn't have to make it Soundwave, but the design was pretty cool. I remember actually having the toy, and that's how I remember
Yeah. They did a lot of really cool concepts and a lot of designs with the Transformers to make it more modern compared to some of the 80s stuff.
Yeah,
I think they just ran out of steam because there just wasn't enough content to draw from to really make it the expansive universe that they were trying to build on.
Yeah.
You know, how many times can you do the same fight between the same people over again?
Yeah, like who's gonna care about the scooter characters because they're scooters? No one's gonna care about the ambulance because he's an ambulance. He's not a cool car. He's an ambulance.
I think G.I. Joe kind of suffered the same fate. You know, G.I. Joe versus Cobra. You know, so you got Cobra Commander, and then you go a long ways before you go to Shangri-La, and you get
the other. I don't.
The other guy. I can't even remember his name now, but the main Cobra guy.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's just these were specifically designed to sell these toys. So, and those toys aren't really being made as much. They don't have any variety because the show had these toys. These toys were made and they did the show, and it's all like, we're not making any more. These are the people. This is the nostalgia factor.
Yeah.
Here's it is. Here are the characters. Here's their new designs, more modern. Boom. Don't have to make any more because everyone already remembers the old ones. This is their modern reboot.
Yeah, but it still just didn't take off.
No. Well, it did. But
it did, but it didn't.
Because when it hit,
it was big for a couple of years, but it didn't have the staying power they wanted. So by the time they turned out 4 or 5 of these movies, it was done.
Yeah, and they kind of did big explosions the whole time.
Well, it's Michael Bay.
Yeah, that's the whole reason everyone watched it to begin with. Is okay, now it's the 5th time watching things explode.
Yeah. Can you think of anything else?
There's probably a lot. We did talk about Avatar: The Last Airbender putting out there.
That's true. Yeah.
Dragon Ball. we tried not to mention this because no one wants to remember it.
Dragon Ball Evolution was horrible. I don't know which one I hated worse: Avatar: The Last Airbender or Dragon Ball Evolution.
I'm gonna go with the Evolution. I have to.
They're just both terrible, and I refuse to watch either one of them more than once. So it's hard for me to draw from recent memory because I'm not going to watch them.
The Last Airbender was more faithful, which is why I think Dragon Ball was worse.
Okay, yeah, I will give you that. Airbender did stick more closely to its source material than Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
Okay. But it was Dragon Ball Evolution, not Dragon Ball Z, not Dragon Ball Super, not Dragon Ball GT. They gave it Evolution so they could kind of put their own spin on it.
Like Zilla?
Yeah. And they did. They put a spin on it, a spin right down the toilet.
I think it is considered the worst movie. It's probably right there beside The Room.
Yeah, and I think I pretty much had both of those movies excised from my mind until you mentioned them. Damn you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We're gonna be real honest with you guys. We did forget about these movies. We just now bringing them up. We were probably thinking about them the whole time, and we tried so hard to not mention it because we did forget.
Yeah. You know, people talk about you watch a movie and then you just wasted X amount of minutes of your life watching that movie.
Oh, yeah.
Those are hours of my life that I don't want back.
I watched the Avatar live-action movie 3 times. One in
Why?
theater, one to show to someone else to make their life miserable, and then I showed my wife Avatar: The Last Airbender, the animated series, and I told her, hey, there's a live-action movie, and she's like, oh, how is it? I'm like, it's terrible, but I'm going to make you watch it because I've seen it.
We do like bad movies, but those are bad on a different scale.
Showing them to someone else, though, makes it different. Because then they're tortured, and you're watching their tortured face. You don't have to watch the movie because you've already seen it.
I will watch movies with other people that I know are just jacked up like all believe. You know, Meet the Feebles. Oh, I'll get somebody to watch that all day long. Midnight Meat Train every time. Because those movies I can watch and still watch other people go, what the hell am I watching?
Oh, yeah.
But The Last Airbender, that's a movie I tell somebody about, and then I wait for them to call me and cuss me out.
Oh, I knew my friend wouldn't have watched it without me. So that's how I got him to do it. And for my wife, she was just intrigued, and I was like, it's a bad movie, but I'm going to make you watch it.
No,
But-
I would not do that to your mother. Just because that means I would have to do that to me.
Well, Mom didn't watch the TV show either.
No, she wouldn't.
Yeah, Neely did.
But I have too much respect for myself to make me have to endure that just to make them suffer.
Nah, it's one of those things where I can do it if it means I'm putting more hurt on someone else.
That's tough. I don't think I could stomach it.
Ooh, part of me wants to rent out a movie theater just to play Dragon Ball Evolution now. Just because I want to see who will show up and who will leave once they realize what movie I'm playing. I will rent out the movie theater and I'll say the free movie, whoever wants to come in, come watch a free movie. And the moment they come in, it's Dragon Ball Evolution.
That's rough. I think I'd rather watch Birdemic Shock and Terror than Dragon Ball Evolution. And Birdemic, it was a horrible movie.
Yeah, but you get to watch Goku do an air blast that's supposed to be the Kamehameha wave, or turn into a really bad CGI'd monkey, or someone with green paint on them that's just trying to be Piccolo.
No, I'm out. All right, we got to change subjects now because I got to get that out of my head.
Well, those are the only other movies I got.
Okay, well,
Thank you for listening to this episode of Nerd Shit. Be sure to follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/LordBradBrad to see when new episodes drop. Or you can find our channel on YouTube. Just search Lord Brad Brad and look for our logo. You can listen to all of your favorite episodes of Nerd Shit directly from our website, www.lordbradbrad.com, where you can also learn a little bit more about us and the products we use and reference on the show. If you enjoyed this episode and would like to donate to the show, we gladly accept donations at coffee.com/LordBradBrad. That's coffee, spelled ko-fi.com/LordBradBrad. Or you can just click the link at the bottom of our website. If you have any comments on anything discussed in this episode or would like to suggest a topic you would like to hear us talk about in a future episode, hit us up on our Facebook page. Again, that's facebook.com/LordBradBrad. Until next time, this is Riorik signing off and telling you to keep doing that nerd shit because you know we will.